You're from a whole nother world, a different dimension. You open my eyes, and I'm ready to go. Lead me into the light. Kiss me, keep me.
Last year, first year in my competitive chess career, where I finished with more wins than losses. And that's not online. This is against pretty competent, over the board players who are taking chess seriously. My chess career is just getting started. When's he gonna quit? When's he gonna quit? Don't ever talk to me. I needed help. No one helped me. Get back to that in a second. It's going to be the U.S. It's going to be the number of games played. I'll explain in a second. But hint, hint. That's when most sane people would have quit.
You're so hypnotizing. Could you be the devil? Could you be an angel? Your touch magnetizing. Feels like I am floating. Leave my body glowing. They say, be afraid. You're not like the others. Futuristic lovers. Different DNA. They don't understand you. You're from a whole nother world, a different dimension. You open my eyes, and I'm ready to go. Lead me into the light. Kiss me, kiss me. Infect me with your love and fill me with your poison. Take me, take me. I wanna be your victim, ready for abduction. You're an alien. Your touch so foreign. It's supernatural, extraterrestrial. You're so supersonic, Wanna feel your power, stun me with your laser. Your kiss is cosmic, every move is magic. You're from a whole nother world, a different dimension. You open my eyes, and I'm ready. There is this transcendental on another level. You're my lucky star. I wanna walk on your wavelength, be there when you vibrate, but you I'd risk it all. Tough economy, AI making a lot of jobs uncertain. Women can have equal rights and be bad bitches. Don't fall for that bullshit. Especially if you're older. It's not an excuse. It's just trying to manipulate you. But Katy did it. Yeah, you don't look up to Katy Perry? Fall for my tactics, ladies. We'll play my chess game. I'm gonna walk my dog. I'm gonna explain why I showed my over the board chart after I returned from my walk. Woo! This is my happy place. Let me shut my door so the world can't reach me. Only my Pirador Nova can reach me. She taps her little nose on my glass and leaves prints. It's beautiful. The world can't reach me. In my Soundproof chest training phone booth, I'm quite happy here. Your touch so foreign, supernatural, extraterrestrial. Woo! On another level, a lucky star. Woo! Man, I love it. How amazing is Katy Perry? I'm pretty happy castling long. And all my chess is a 10-minute game. I'm more than confident enough to defend my king these days. Another world, different dimension. Terrestrial.
don't want to try too much crap against players at this level. Should be getting pretty darn close to my peak. I'd say it's in the low to mid 2200s in rapid, and maybe blitz for that matter. And if that pawn stays back, I might just go for it. Because then the bishop's going to be one move away from involving itself. Be careful bringing the queen out if there are a check work opportunities. Because I'll be attacking your king. It's hard for me to assess how good these players are because I try to compare online to over the board, and sometimes even players I know that I've played a lot. Problem is, over the board, the shortest time control I'll participate in is 26 minutes with a 5-second per move increment. It's a lot longer than this, at least 3 times longer when you factor in the increment. So if those athletes I'm paired against had a third of the clock, roughly, I don't really know how they play. That's why I need to stop bashing online chess so much. There's a lot of variables, and it's no one's fault. All I know is I'm going to climb Chess Mountain to the highest cliff, so high that grandmasters will look down on me and say, there's something wrong with Dayton, but we kind of respect him. Appreciate it, guys and gals. I said many times on stream, my streaming, this is not my statement, but it is a fact. My streaming and opportunities to make a living in chess or with content are completely contingent upon me getting good at chess. If I get to a certain level with chess, I'll be more than high enough for people to take notice. And it will help me if I need help at that point. And I don't really want to be a streamer. It's for documentation. I'm interested in the study. I'm so sick of people. Oh, I can't do this. I'm just giving up, man. It's so hard. Your mind shuts down. That's why table games dealers are the best candidates. Partner with a casino. Pay a casino to train your grandmasters. It'll improve them and get some of the dealers for experiments, adult experiments, and relatable stories to motivate mainstream to care about chess. Dealers, I think a lot are really sharp. It's hard because a lot of them didn't go to school or go to college. But they don't shut down, and that's what you need out of an adult. You can't shut down. Dealers don't shut down. You can figure out most problems. You just got to keep thinking. Dealers have done that more than grandmasters, actually. Dealers who have dealt for 20 years. I'm not saying they'll be half as good as grandmasters, but as far as just the puzzle, I don't remember. I'm tired, or it changed. A new rule, a new game. They have practiced not stopping, and not been allowed to not think. It just looks so enticing. I feel like I should do it. Fuck. You gotta take it. And the fact that you're not automatically taking it tells me I wouldn't expect you to be that good at chess, real chess, over the board chess, against good players that are completely focused and trying to improve and have resources to do so. Because you know that's an option. So whether you're going to take it or I don't know what else you do here, you got to have already decided that. It's very suspicious. And I'm getting close to the top 20,000 in the world globally in online chess, or at least on chess.com. I won't play on Lead Chess. I like Lead Chess. I kind of wish I would have started on Lead Chess. All my games are loaded on chess.com. They have good analytics / insights. So I can look back at my early games. It's cool to reminisce, and I could never relearn chess from scratch. So I'm stuck with chess.com, and it's a fine app. I don't have to agree with their decisions or like them or trust them as people. Give your king into me. You know you're going to do that, though. So you don't want to do that. But now I can lightly consider sacrifices. It would start with that, of course, because that would be one less controller of the squares, the dark squares for my attack. So then once you're here, I might be able to sack. Gem. Doesn't look good. Why? Okay, so there. Means trade. Then I'll hit that. It's probably fine. Okay. Shit. Just a sad game. That's depressing. And I can't take that. Damn. Well, I got pretty lucky here. Yeah, good job. Trying to draw. I don't know if it's gonna be pretty awkward. So I have to leave it. Take it. Okay, we're fucked. Shit. Good night. Yep. Good job. Got myself in a mess there. I'm sure I got a pretty nice advantage. Look at dumb shit. Try to be clever. It's not going to work anymore. These bad habits can be broken. I think in mental pursuits, bad habits aren't like a technique issue in a baseball swing or a golf swing. I think bad habits can be broken a little easier and faster. going in 20-point increments. I'm going to be combining all the good training ideas I've had, all the bad ones, or all the mistakes I've learned from. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to roll. How do you suck at chess so bad? That's what I'd like to know. So who gave you your rating / how did you get to be so bad at the game you claim to be in the top 0.1 percentile of? Just have a lot of questions. I'm a curious person. Don't take it personally. If the roles were reversed, I'd hope you wanted the same things about me. Okay, still pinned. The check is there. I'll be happy with that. Because you can't take my horse outside mate. That's fine, right? What I'm saying is, of course, it appears to be free. Chess gets more complicated. Things are not usually so simple. You got to play to that. No, why not? But that check, run into this, can't take there because the mate. You have to move your queen. I'll just activate my bishop a little bit. If you move your queen back, okay. Yeah, sure. I should probably do that now. This is game over as long as I get this right. So let's get it right. Because then that doesn't work. So I can probably do this. Definitely no problem with that. So I can't move in a manner that threatens my queen. Because then I am mated. All right. So then I'm here. Whatever you do, I can begin to slide. So that's probably the answer. Otherwise, I take now. You can come here with my knight. So that's the answer. You abandon that. I have to do this? In my perspective, a situation where really good players would see exactly what's about to happen, but I've developed a pretty good feel, whether it be a little bit of natural ability that I never got to develop as a kid, or just I'm an obsessive adult. I spent way too much time doing this since COVID. Just got a pretty decent feel for where the pieces should go. And I would have to rewatch my early videos. But I guess you gotta just check your way out. That's no good, so it's automatic. When I say, or when a newer player, when you hear him talking, says, where does it, I don't know what's going on, or I don't know what to do. It's, where does the piece want to go? Where should it be? It has a place. There's an answer. Going back to the table games, those don't just shut down. That's what you want. It doesn't matter though. So where can you shut me from? Sure, rook can't get in here to add pressure with the queen yet. I'd love to get my rooks connected, but we should be fine. Should be fine for now. Got a great position. If I get my rooks connected, or even my king behind these pawns a little bit, and my queen able to stop any queen and rook doubling up on my back rank, there's just nothing that can happen for white to come back. I should have a new peak and rapid in about 4 minutes. I consider beginners like 1000chess.com or less. A beginner I might define as one who doesn't even have a good enough understanding of chess basics to justify taking a lesson with a good coach or trying his or her hand at an over-the-board club tournament. That's a beginner to me. Why even waste your time with real chess people? It's just going to make you worse, discouraged. You're not ready. That's a situation where a very new player from there, you're just seeing the rook coming, this opening up, and you're panicking. There's absolutely no danger. That's interesting. Is there some weird draw? There's definitely not. Because I'm going to take it this way. What is this nonsense, you moron? No. Oh, okay. So you don't want to use your queen because then I'll just take it and I'll take. There's no harm in that. Don't want to commit any of these pawns usually. Faster the time control, and the more inexperienced you are, the more true that is. Surprises can happen. And even if we're losing, we'll keep those pawns intact. The opponent will have to earn everything. Start pushing king pawns too much. So there are cheap ways for the opponent to get back in the fight. You desperate bastard. Okay. There are no queen checks aside from that one. So if you take here, I'll take here. You'll take here, and then you'll get the rook back. I'll still win, but good idea, I guess. Good idea for an incompetent, soon to be confidence-less chess athlete. Dude. You gotta go king back. Yeah, fine. Focus. Or I know this knight has no checks. Nell's check is not very good. Oh, shit. Out of time, gosh. Watch how fast I am, though. This is lightning. Forgot to mention it. There we go. All right, new peak. I've been learning to deal craps, and my brain is fried. Online gaming of any sort can be addictive. Anything with devices can. Look at social media. When I'm locked in, and, and I don't think I struggle that much with quality of play, it's just speed when I'm tired. When I'm locked in, I'm playing at a decent pace, not too many games a day. I'm way above this level. These people are dog shit compared to masters or even low-end experts at the club, which are I might beat them, an expert, so a 2,000 level player. I might beat him 1 out of 20 times. I might draw him twice out of 20 times. That's probably about how I would fare against a 2,000 USCF rated player right now. So quite a bit better than me. Those level of players, and I've befriended a few around 1,900, 2,000. They would slaughter every one of these 2,200 level online players. I've impressed a few acquaintances at the club who are quite a bit stronger than me over the board with my online numbers. One even pulled up my account, like, no way, because he saw me play. And it's not that he thought I was bad, but my online numbers were way better than him. He was like 300 points higher than me. Like, yeah, but I worked on computers and I've spent all my time doing this while kids mostly do puzzles and take chess seriously. I think if a lot of 1900s over the board spent half the time they do over the board online, they would be way better than me online. But my online numbers fare pretty good against even 2,000 rated club players. If I lock in, I'll be even better. Because I'm beating these people, as you saw. I just wake up with no time left. Here's my clock. Crap. And as I was mentioning, I'm 2 weeks into a 5-week crap stealing class. I'm very grateful to learn craps and not chess gods, casino gods willing. And that's sacrilegious. That casino, it's the devil. So are parts of the Bible Belt, especially in the front row during the Sunday sermon. Ooh, not all of you, just about half. So, casino guys willing, I'll be a crap stealer. 2 weeks down, three to go. Today it kind of clicked. I put down the paper. We were forced to not have the call sheet, and some of those calls, those stick calls and craps, it sounds like Peyton Manning, Z drag line. He's got to call a play in the football huddle, and every word has a purpose. So probably giving yourself the option to audible, telling the line which way to shift or what to look for to determine their shift. The receiver, a lot of times in the NFL, it's so complicated and everyone's so good. The receiver has options too. It's not just the quarterback. You got to read the defensive backs. So you call the route and then possibly the read off the route. And every position in football, of course, has a position. Like there's a Z receiver, usually a little bit faster guy. There's an X receiver, possibly a bigger, more target type receiver. W, Y. And that's why those plays sound so complicated and take so long for a quarterback to call them. And that's kind of like crap stealing. When you're the stick person, there's 3 spots. But when I took the paper away, I didn't get everything perfect, but I was so much better because the paper was like a crutch. I know I can look at it, and my brain just started working. Like that's why dealers would be great chess players, and I've already befriended a few, and they're doing well on chess.com because your brain can't shut down. You got to call, you got to work through it, and if you can't remember the call, you got to look at the table and think logically. Everything at a casino makes sense. There's very few things at a casino that even if you didn't gamble, you couldn't logically agree that's how things should be done. Everything has a purpose. Every spot on the casino, on every casino game has a purpose because we're wasting space. And if we have some space on the game, they're going to clear that part of the table and turn it into a chair because we can have someone sit there. And when everything has a purpose, accidentally, dealers turn into very, very strange but perfect studies for peak performance. I never told my trainers this because they don't know I play chess or stream, and I'll never tell them unless they find out. They are so, I don't know that they're book smart or not. Maybe they never tried. They're probably like my grandpa. He just figures everything out. You just show up, and at 80 years old, he's carrying things that are too heavy, but damn it, he fixed his engine. Damn it, the air conditioning works in his trailer again. He just fixes stuff. But he's not book smart. I don't even know if my grandpa can read. But if you were in a pickle, even if he's never done that project, he's going to figure it out. First call. And dealers have a lot of traits my grandpa does. I don't know statistics, but I can tell you a 7 to 5 and a 9 to 5 and at 20, I scratch that and I double the bet and subtract 2 and their brain starts working and you're like, you couldn't figure out calculus or the most difficult college math class, whatever that is. I don't know. But our brains as dealers can never shut down. You can't shut down. If you never shut down, you can learn. That doesn't mean like an arrogant, politician type of competitive where I will never quit no matter how wrong I am. But no, it's I will find a solution because I know there is one. There always is one, and it will make sense. And 3.5 hours a day, 5 days a week of craps, it's getting my brain pretty messed up. Too tired to play chess. I don't even know if I'll play over the board today because they moved the games up to noon and online for 10 minutes. It's not that hard. 26 minutes against good players that are actually trying strategies and trying to set up situations based on their past mistakes. And now they know what to do because they've looked at it with a grandmaster in residence. So they're trying to get those positions. They're trying to do things to me and they're capable of doing things to me, especially if they have the white pieces. And I don't know that I need to show up tired while I'm in craps class. It would be wise for me to skip 3 more weeks over the board and just get my online rating higher. I'm a bit of a degenerate. And I just want to play chess all the time. I don't even know if I'm happy doing it. I like being inside my soundproof phone booth. But am I happy doing this? Nah. Am I closing in on 2,200 when any respected chess person who saw my YouTube channel, read my emails, ignored my applications, you bastards? We're going, I see his account. He's a little bit weirder than most. Now, if they were smart and instead of just being chess people, they just focused on human nature now and then learning in general as it applies to any subject, not just chess, they would hear me saying if, then, else. So I've worked in systems. And now I'm the table game stuff. It's almost as valuable as systems and analyzing bugs. A lot of, defects or bugs in systems. It's just defending chess positions. And table game is even more patterns and making quick reads. But you still hear me talking code when I got confused. I didn't know anything about chess because I just resorted to what I knew. And that would be a red flag that you might be wrong. A green flag for me. And my brain wouldn't shut down when a lot of adult improvers, you can tell they're just like, even the ones who are trying to keep fighting before they know anything, you can tell on their face, it's like, I'm tired, I'm trying to be positive. And that's when I would start shouting at myself. Figure it out, don't quit. I don't care if you think I'm on drugs or I'm insane. I'm going to yell at myself because my brain will not stop trying to figure this out. And possibly the biggest indicator of whether or not an adult might figure it out is before he or she has any training, is there a feel for where shit should go? Of course, we're not going to know why. We're not going to have seen patterns or done the puzzle or taken lectures. But even if they're not making the moves, they're not sure, is that adult or new player going, I think that goes there. Is the mouse moving? Are they talking about things that are good? But they're no, but they're seeing things. I just feel like that should go there. And pretty soon, if you find the very small group of adults who talk like that, not what is this or what is where my bishop and knight are strong, and that kind of quizzing themselves. Take the very small group of people who aren't shutting down, and then the next level after not shutting down is bishop. I remember this, but they don't know how to apply it at all, and they really aren't trying to apply it because they know they're probably going to fail. Take the very small group that things should be a certain place. Don't tell me there's not an answer. And then check them out in a few weeks. Or after they've gotten a little bit of formal training. And I bet it will go from, I just feel like that should go there, to, I remember in this lecture or in this game my coach reviewed with me or in this game I saw. It wasn't the same, but there were these pieces, and the grandmaster or whatever player was being studied put the pawn here, and then because of that mistake, the pawn was forced to double, and that allowed, and even if it's wrong, it goes from that should go somewhere to you're combining that with a pretty good memory, and then you can take kind of the third step. You have a feel, don't really know why, showing some signs of an impressive memory. And now can they start accurately applying things? Now, in between that second and third step, where you're showing you, remember, that's pretty good memory, and can you apply it consistently? You're going to hear how they talk to themselves, and how that individual talks to himself. And this is, again, a very small group of humans. Now, most have quit, and the others, that bishop does this. I read a book, and I'm bishop, knight, I prefer the rook and the pawn. This is hard. And then you can cross them off your list. They might be a 1,300 streamer that makes you some new fans, but they're not going to be any good at chess in the long run. You can just give up on them, and no dealer will do that. I'm talking 80-year-old dealers that just do it for fun and retirement and to have some extra money for their grandkids' college fund. Bet on them. Go to a casino, find the oldest dealer. I'm telling you, they're positive. They've worked their asses off their whole life. They've never complained. Showed up. They're reliable. That 80-year-old, you watch how good that 80-year-old great grandma gets at chess. I've counted. I don't remember. This is a new game. 1, 2, and then in that other game it pays this. So if I can't get it that way, my brain's not figuring out the problem that way. I have to shoot from this angle. And I remember the payout in another game. Since I'm not doing the math right now, I'm under pressure. I have to do it because another game was similar, and I remember that. That's how the brain goes. And it's in short, intense, frequent rest, which is how deliberate practice has to be. Short, intense with frequent rest. Hour to hour and 20 on, 20 minutes off. Boom, boom, boom. It's too intense. There's too many conversations to be had. You want to be entertaining. You want to be grateful for people playing at your table. I don't want to sit at a dead table. It makes me look bad. I got a bad attitude or something. Even if my table's got a high dollar amount, I need to be smiling. I'm sometimes tired because I'm playing chess in the mornings and online at night. I'm just addicted to it. But I try to be into it even when I have a dead table. I don't want it dead very long. Those traits carry over to chess dealers. But between that second and third step, where you're showing you have a pretty good memory and now you're applying it, listen to how the adult talks. And I doubt this will ever happen unless he or she has taken some interest in peak performance, studied memory champions like I have, some weird thing in his or her childhood that just they got into, which means probably autism or severe OCD. Like, no one told you to do it, and Dayton, you're just memorizing cards. Yeah. Why? I'm not really sure, but I memorized digits of pi too. I got up to 200 digits of pi at one point. And I realized it was a system. It was a system that almost anyone could do who didn't have brain damage, especially during our youth. And nobody wanted to fucking be my lab rats. I didn't have money when I was a kid to pay people, so they went and drank at the frat houses. I sat in there and memorized pi, and because you tie 0 to Z, and you tie 1 is an O, and then 2 can be T, and 3 can be E, and 9 can be N, and they're all telling a story. All those digits of pi, and I think the record for digits of pi memorized, it was close to 100,000 when I checked last, which was years ago. So someone's probably memorized 100,000 digits in a row. 200 is not impressive, but it's more than you can do. But you're essentially, it gets more complicated when you're getting into the tens of thousands, of course, but essentially telling a story with those letters. And those letters, you're just trained in your brain to very quickly associate with 0 through 9. And that story becomes your recital of pi. But something weird where, why were you into that? But that's also a pretty impressive ability. And you clearly spent a lot of time on that, Dayton. There's something there. And listen to how they talk about it. If they start doing what I do, which is they're trying to tie it back to other experiences like memory palaces and memory Olympics, and they start tying it to things that no one really told them to, then you're going to want to fucking bet on that person for sure. But even if not, listen how they talk about the problem, and you can get a feel for how they learn, how fast they process information, which is not necessarily a necessity for a good chess player. Processing information quickly. There are other ways to be good at chess. You might not reach really high levels if you can't process information quickly. But like Gukesh, I don't know that he processes information that quickly. He's the world champion right now. I'm going to say he's the best in the world just to piss some people off because he's the world champion. Man just didn't defend his title. Totally his right to not play. There's the best player in the world champion. Life works that way. Listen to how the adult talks, and then eventually that has formal training to compete. And you can get a pretty good feel when there's no guidance, the best ways to train that adult or beginner based on in between that second and third step. And I'm completely just ranting right now off the top of my head, where you showed you get some memory and now you apply it. But in between that, you had to talk a lot and solve a lot of problems, probably a lot of wrong problems. But how are you talking to yourself? When do you stop? When do you think you're right? When do you, I'm not right? Are you the type where you are right and you are just right, or you didn't even get started at all? Or are you probably more like me, where even when I don't know what I'm doing, I'm getting there and I'm going back and forth and I'm just making progress? Those will be important clues as to the best ways to train that individual. Because with kids, when they're completely fresh and they don't have life experiences to peg to, whether they realize it or not, a lot of times in chess, they are applying a new opening principle or a new end game pattern to something they learned in school or in a previous chess tournament. That we're tying everything to a previous experience or a previous learning situation. But with kids, they have so much less that has happened. You can basically just mold them. And even if that might not be the best way for their natural brain to learn, it's going to be pretty good. And they're going to kind of morph their brain to that learning approach. Now, with adults, it's not that it wouldn't have been better had we been able to rewind time and learn that way. But now we have our experiences. Now we have our education, our jobs, if we're old enough. And you have to find out how we're wired and how we've been trained or learned to talk to ourselves and solve problems and go from there. To close this rant, and I'm going to walk my dog in the freezing cold. Somehow, some way, and several techniques I've brought up just now, but there will be a lot of other techniques that have to accomplish the following goal. Have to extract the adaptable years of the human brain as much as possible. And I won't get along with a lot of proper chess people, just like Eminem didn't get along with most people in music until he got his chance and it ended up being good. Now, it could have flopped and it could have hurt rap, I guess, but that's how change happens. A lot of risk. The proper chess people, no, there is a way to train. No, there is not. Not for someone who was not exposed at a very young age. There is not. You might be completely wrong. And only some of your principles might apply. And that's hard because I don't mind being told I'm wrong. Which, of course, gives me the right to consider another person might be wrong if I'm accepting I might be wrong. I don't mind accepting I might be wrong as long as we can all agree there are still principles. There's still principles that should be followed, especially when it comes to learning. But as far as this class on Courseable or on Chessable, or this is how Magnus Carlsen trained or got over his earliest plateaus, I don't give a fuck. And I'll just walk out of the most important room with the most important accomplished chess people right there. because I'll admit I'm wrong on a lot of things, and I can learn something from almost anyone. And though I can learn something from someone who says you have to learn chess this way or this chessable course is the only way, the negatives you're going to rub off on me are not worth anything I can learn from you in life and chess. Nothing. You have to do it this way. I'm sorry. I'm just walking out. He can't do that. I certainly can. I certainly can. Just like there will be a few adult chess women, I will never shake their hands. And if I come across a girl who is associated with their programs, I will just to avoid the call it out. You want to call men out for taking too long to accept the draw. I might have been new, lonely in a big city for the first time after COVID and needed someone to be nice to me. I was thinking about quitting possibly, and you're going to be only a few. Follow on social media. Just leave me alone. And if anyone's associated with their program, I see men can't even wait to accept the draw while we're learning. Okay, I'm not touching her. I didn't touch her. Let the record show. I didn't touch the fierce female warrior. And after the game, I would tell the young girl, "Hey, good job," with my hands up. You did a great job, because it's not her fault at all. But I won't shake her hand. I'm telling you don't want to go down that route. But with that same mindset, you can't do that. That's sportsmanship issues, Dayton. I absolutely can. I will show respect for the event organizers, especially at St. Louis, because I love St. Louis, as you can see. They've done a great job. And any opponent. But as far as rules or proper chess etiquette, if I ever get banned or called out, and I didn't do anything that justifies like a criminal trial, which I won't do that. I won't do anything that would justify a criminal trial. And you make my life hell, or I have to lose any sleep at all, you can all just kiss my ass. And I'll play online. You can watch my account grow, kind of like General Zod. I follow him on TikTok. He doesn't live near a club at this point in his life, but he's above 2,600 in rapid. I think there's only 12 players. It was 6 or 12 who are above 2,600 in rapid on chess.com that are not titled over the board players. So he's very good. I'll just be someone like that. I'm not doing the bullshit. I'm too old for it. All right. Dealers, your best bets, or some occupation where your brain can never shut down. Talk about the 3 steps, kind of off the cuff. Which the first is just, or if someone, just too hard, I quit. I just don't want to think. And then another stage, hey, the bishop does this. I remember this. They're trying, and then you can tell that they're just not. It's not clicking for them. But from there, you have someone who, one, has a natural feel. There's got to be a little bit of a feel. Talent does matter. It probably matters more if you didn't get them young. Didn't get them started young. I don't know, the Polgar sisters, for example, or people who have some natural talent, figured it out at the highest levels. Judith Polgar has to be pretty talented. Say what you want about geniuses, there's some talent there. If she started later in life, maybe she would have been okay. But others who just beat it to death and maybe didn't get to Grandmaster, but they're still really strong international master just off pure grit. If you started them older in life, even if they had time, that grit is probably not going to make up for it. They need some talent if it wasn't handed to them as a kid with some structure. So one, it's got to be some natural feel, especially for adult beginners. 2, showing a pretty good memory. A pattern, recent mistakes, how I lost those games. Online chess works in tiers. Lower level players lose and win games in similar ways, similar types of mistakes. And eventually they'll start catching up to us. And we'll lose enough, and we'll have to understand what mistakes are happening. Then we'll fix it. Then there'll be a new tier, and they'll lose in one game in a similar way. You got to show a pretty good memory. That's what happened. I remember this. And then the third is you got to be able to apply it in between the second and third. You're talking, you're solving problems, you're hearing how they think. And if I were a chess investor, I would stop kissing Magnus Carlsen's ass and promote stories like that. Try to get a slew of adults, and not like, no offense, but not like Emily Plays Chess. If they haven't got to 1,400 or really like 1,700 in a matter of 2 years, you need to just let them be pretty faces, and men can be pretty faces too. Nothing personal, but if they're trying it all and they're 1,300, 1,200, just no, don't do it. And then from that group, you'll have a few adults that really do figure it out and see what happens. But you got to get relatable stories. There's nothing more relatable than people with no experience getting good enough to at least hang in there with masters for a little bit. As far as I know, there's no one close besides that Cameron Hellman, who I'm very impressed by, and me. Okay, I am going to let you admire Hans Niemann while I walk my puppy. The man who hates almost, he doesn't hate almost everyone. He hates people who try to ruin his life. Let's go, Nova. Welcome, partner. Ready, man? Let's go. Go. Go with that, let's go. Go. I gave you the virtual key, right? Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, I'll come meet you in the lobby. All right, love you. It's a small world after all. Remember that song? It was on a ride in, what is it, Small World? Disney. Yeah, it's a Disney ride, and they just play that over and over until you go insane. I'm gonna start recording songs. They'll let me practice some piano, and then I'll just play them while I walk my dog. Like, is it Abracadabra in Pokemon? Sorry, my brain does this, man. I'm so tired. Pokemon, Abracadabra. There's Abra and Abracadabra. The older Pokemon. Yeah, that's you. Little psychic bastard. That can be found. I think it's after Gym 2, and then you're going down. And I think it's before you get on the ship, because you got to go up and get some ferry pass in gold. You got to get some ferry. I forgot the ferry, but it's where you go on a ship, and there's a bunch of Pokemon trainers. You got to fight them throughout the ship, and that might be the first introduction to Team Rocket in Pokemon Gold, but Abra is somewhere in that path. Somewhere between Gym 2 and that ship, I think. It's a small world. After all. That Disney ride just drives you insane, but I'll hypnotize you. Like it wasn't Abracadabra. Who? I thought it was the evolution of Abra, but it's not. It's who's the hypnotist of Pokemon? Yeah, that dude. Who are you? It is Alakazam. Okay. He just hypnotizes people. Picture Alakazam waving his little spoon while my songs are playing in the background. I don't know. I just watch his stream, the same stream
10 million times. I woke up, suddenly I'm 90 years old. I don't feel so good. Gotcha.
It's abracadabra. That sounds neat. All right.
ate an egg sandwich like an hour and a half ago or so.
You gonna do anything or just want to relax?
I'm good. It's chill.
Freaking cold. Way too cold to do anything.
Huh?
It's way too cold. I wish there were. Did you ever play racquetball? Let me kill this stream. I'll come back another time.
One time before, but that's about it.
You ever played once?
Yeah.
I need to find a 24-hour racquetball gym. I want to go hit like at these hours when I get off work. I want to go hit, but there's an outdoor court kind of towards downtown St. Louis, but obviously in the winter that sucks.
Yeah.
And there's some nice indoor facilities, but they don't open until 8. I'm gonna come back another time.